Hari Om. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kausachanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. So last Sunday we just saw that Kulapati, and I said, no, I have to give some note on Kulapati. I have to read from some commentary and therefore we'll stop there. So there is an ashrama, the Vaikhanasa says, there is an ashrama, Anumalini Tiram. Anumalini Tiram, that is Malini Tire. This is an Avyai Bhava Samasa, like Anurupam, etc. Yatha Shakti, Ahoratram, Anurupam, Anugunam, like Anumalini Tiram. Kanavasya, and not only Maharshi Kanava, he would say, Esha Khalu Kanavasya Kulapatehe Ashramaha Drishyate. So who is a Kulapati? For that we have to read. Who is a Kulapati? Basically, Kulapati, when we say in these modern terms, Kulapati is a chancellor in Maharashtra. Kulapati is the chancellor and Kulaguru is the vice chancellor of a university. Okay, in Maharashtra, the terminology differs a little bit. Kulapati is the chancellor who is over and above. I mean, he is the chancellor of all the universities in the state. Okay, he is the governor of the state. He is called chancellor. And the vice chancellor next to him is the vice chancellor. But in other parts of our country, especially in the Sanskrit universities and all, Kulapati is Kulaguru, vice chancellor. Okay, Kulapati is vice chancellor. And vice chancellor takes care of how many students and staff and faculty? Hundreds and thousands of them. Isn't it so? Similarly here, the definition of Kulapati goes like this. Muninam Dashasahasram, 10,000 munis, yaha annapanadi poshanat adhyapayati viprarshihi asau Kulapati smritaha. One who feeds 10,000 vipra, 10,000 vipra by anna, pana and adhyapana. So he feeds them. So it's a Gurukula where 10,000 students or some elderly people, they can stay, they can learn, they can do the seva, whatever, So annapanadi poshanat adhyapayati viprarshihi kulapatihi asau smrataha. So he is called a Kulapati. So just imagine now this ashrama, this is not a tiny ashrama. I am also staying in an ashrama. Okay, this is a tiny ashrama, not 10,000 students, but now, so many campers are here and there are camps going on every other day. So there are so many visitors and people staying here, but this is an ashrama style of life. Okay, so Kulapati, so he is such a Kulapati, he is running a Gurukula with 10,000 students. So tasya ashramaha drishyate na chet anya karyatipataha. If you do not have any other pressing work, that means if you have some other work, don't ignore that, because on the last Sunday we saw, what is his kartavya. Artatranaya vaha shastram. So you have thousands of other things to do. This is not like the Vaikhanasa or the hermits, who have to do the Yajna Yaga and Adhyana Adhyapana, only that much. A king has to take care of so many people, all his subjects. And therefore, if there is any other pressing work where you need to go, don't ignore that. Not at the cost of the other work. I invite you to the ashrama. Okay, so again this is a reminder of his duty. The king should not, transgress his duties. So, na ched anya karyatipataha pravishya, you can enter, and pratigrihatam atitheyaha satkaraha, and accept the hospitality satkaraha which is due to an atithi. Atitheya, fit for an atithi. Due, deserves to be given to an atithi. So that takes us to the word atithi. So normally we all know, na tithihi vidyate asya iti atithihi. So we take it in the sense that one who summons up any time without giving a phone call, without WhatsApping you, without pinging you in any manner, no email, no WhatsApp, no phone call. Datta म्हणून उभा राहतो. Who comes just bangs in, he is Atiti, we say. But that is just one, what you can say, interpretation. And that is also not proper. It is for us. And therefore we say, that in India we have that pleasure and that freedom to go to our friend's house, to our relative's house, even if we don't inform them that we are coming, we can give them a good surprise, pleasant surprise. Is it not a good surprise? When you go and ask, wow, like that. But in the West, no, it is no. Even the son takes the appointment, previous appointment, to meet his parents, and the parents would take the appointment. So there is a cultural difference, okay? Anyhow, so Atiti, the commentators have given some other meanings. It is from the root atati, it is gatyarthaka, to go. So one who is moving with the pratyaya ithin. Atati, that is to go, to move around, plus the suffix ithin makes the word Atiti. So one who is always moving, not stationary, doesn't stay at one place for long. And therefore, if an Atiti comes and stays for days together, he is no more honored. And no Atitheya Satkara can be given to him. Even if it is a Jamai, even if it's a son-in-law, for 2 days, 3 days, a week, okay. Beyond that, ma pitla bhakri, no sweets and no rasmalai and nothing, then whatever we eat, dal khichdi, wahi milega. So, so there is also, the meaning behind that Atiti, he comes as an Atiti, he should stay as an Atiti, not stay together for a long period of time. And therefore, Atati, and with this ithin, Unadi Sutra, the word Atiti is formed. Another interpretation is Anityam hi sthitaha yasmat. It is from the same root only, but the paraphrasing is done in a different manner. The explanation is given in a quite different way. Anityam hi sthitaha yasmat tasmat atithi ruchyate. This is from Manusmriti. Anityam hi sthitaha yasmat, because he is not permanently staying at one place, no? So he comes just as a guest and goes away. So anityam hi sthitaha ataha atithihi iti uchyate. And Kulluka Bhatta, on the commentary of Manusmriti, also says the same thing. Anitya vasthanat na vidyate dvitiya tithihi asya iti atithiruchyate. He adds one more line. The anityatva should be such an extent that na dvitiya tithihi asya vidyate. He should not stay at that place for second day, only one day. So, a real meaning of Atiti, he has to be on moving and he can stay at anybody's place only for a day. Na dvitiya tithihi asya vidyate. Atithihi nama na dvitiya tithi. A is na, negation. So, last time we were saying na, anagas. In that I told you that if it is a word starting with a swara, vowel, then instead of the negative prefix, it is an. Otherwise, avidya, atithi. See? So, tithi, atithi. It won't be anatithi, antithi. Okay? So, that is the difference. So, these are the, what you can say, derivations of the word atithi. Atitheyaha satkaraha, the satkara due for atithi, apicha. And then there is a beautiful verse, Vaikhanasa says this verse, Ramyas tapodhananam pratihata vignaha kriyaha samavalokya jnasyasi kiyad bhujo me rakshati maurvi kinanka iti. Jnasyasi kiyat bhujo me rakshati maurvi kinankaha iti. So once you go there, enter there and look for yourself, see for yourself, and then get that satisfaction that the things of a Gurukula are going on seamlessly well. There are no hiccups, there are no vyatyayas, there are no vignas. pratihata vignaha kriyaha samavalokya samyak drishtya samyak avalokya. What? Kriyaha, the things which are done there, the tasks, the different types of works being done. What are they? Kriyaha, basically yaga adikarma, because these are the tapovanas. This is an ashrama. But besides yaga adikarma, there will be shiksha arambha, vidya arambha, then devatadi pujanam, okay? All such things would also be there, and therefore kriyaha comes in the plural, bahuvachana. It is not only one kriya, kriyaha. The bahulya is because so many other activities are going on in an ashrama. So and all these things are going on without any hindrance, without any impediments. Pratihata vignaha. All the vignas have been taken care of. That means they are nullified there. Vignas don't interfere in the karya. And these kriyaha of whom? Tapodhanana. Of the people for whom their penance, their austerity itself is dhana. Tapodhana. Tapaha eva dhanam yesham te tapodhanaha. This word tapodhana comes in the 4th act also again, maybe in the 7th act as well. Okay? So tapodhananam. Tapodhananam ityanena atyanta vishaya nairapeksham. See the commentary of Raghava Bhatta. Atyanta vishaya nairapeksham. There is no apeksha. Nirapeksha is an adjective. Nairapeksham, it is an abstract noun formed from an adjective. Nairmalyam, saushilyam, nairapeksham, jadyam. Right? So nairapeksham of what? There is no apeksha for what? Vishayas, for the things to be enjoyed. So atyanta, and this nirapekshatva is to the highest quality. So they are viragi. They are vairagya yukta, and therefore they don't have any apeksha of any sort of vishaya to them. So tapodhananam ityanena atyanta vishaya nairapeksham. Then ramyaha, these kriyaha are ramyaha. Tapodhananam ramyaha pratihata vignaha kriyaha samavalokya. Okay? So ramyaha, what does it indicate? Veda bodhita acharanatvena ramyatvam. Why there is ramyatva in the kriya? The works, the endeavors, different tasks being done there. What is so charming about it? What is so beautiful about it? The beauty lies in the way they are done, acharana, and that acharana is accompanied by Veda bodhita, by the Vedic mantras, by chantings, by hymns, by prayers, by devatastutis. So many good things are going on in an ashrama. Every day there will be chanting, there will be arati, there will be some ashtottara shatanamavali, some sahasranama, played somewhere, suprabhatam being played somewhere in the morning. So it's all, the ambience is so sacred, so divine. So Veda, and there will be Veda Patana, because these are Dasha Sahasranam. What is that? Anna, Bharana, Poshana and Adhyapana. All that the Kulapati is doing. So many people are there. So many young students will be there. So they will be doing the Veda chanting, the Veda Patana also. So Veda Bodhita Acharanatvena Ramyatvam. Now instead of Ramyaha, Kechit, Kvachit, Dharmyaha iti Pathaha. Kvachit tatra Dharmyaha iti Pathaha. तस्य अर्थः कः? धर्म्याः धर्माद् अपनेताः अनपेताः धर्म्याः तेन अपनुत्ति धन्यत्वादि राज्ञः व्यज्यते. धर्म्याः क्रियाः also those who are in line of dharma. Whatever these anchorites or the hermits are supposed to do, they are doing it exactly in the prescribed manner, and when, everybody is doing their work in a very seamless manner, the credit goes to the ruler. Because the Raja is in such a good manner, he is ruling, he is taking care of everything, that everybody is, doing his own duties without any hiccups and all that, right? So this is Dhanyatvadi Rajnyaha Vejyate. The king would feel, oh, in my rule, in my kingdom, everything is going on so smoothly, I need not worry about anything. So, Dhanyatvadi Rajnyaha Vyajyate. Then Pratihata Vignaha, that also suggests, even if the Vignas were to come, the king is there. King is there who is capable of warding off any impediment. Anena Pratapaatishayaha Lakshyate. Pratapasya Atishayatvam. His great valor gets indicated, gets suggested. Kiyad Rakshati. Now, how this is all going on? Because he is capable of taking onus on all these activities on his shoulder. Not on his shoulder, on his bahu. Kiyad Rakshati me Maurvi Kinankaha Bhujaha iti chintayitva. The Raja would think, oh, how to great extent my arm is capable of protecting this entire Tapovana, which is in the vicinity of my capital city, right? And this Bahu or this Bhujaha, Kiyad Bhujaha me Rakshati, there is a Visheshana for that, Maurvi Kinankaha iti. Maurvi Kina Ankaha. Anka imprint. Kina scar, wound. Maurvi is Dhanur Gunaha, the bowstring. I think last Sunday I was referring to this. Maurvi Ja, that is the Dhanur Ja, and this is for the Kshatriya, even the girdle in the Upanayana, it is made up of Maurvi. Okay? Like for the Brahmana, it is made up of Munja, Maunji. And last Sunday I did refer to the Vaishyas, Shanatantavi. Shana is the vanaspati called hemp, H-E-M-P. Okay? So while discussing the Pushpa Rashi, Tula Rashi and all that, I was discussing last time that Tula perhaps is not known to them. They are used to Valkala, the bark garments, at the most the other vanaspati garment, that is hemp, that is Shanatantu. And for Vaishya, it is Shanatantavi, Mekhala, okay? And the Dhanur Guna, that is also this Maurvi only, okay? Maurvi. And Maurvi, though it is typically made up of Murva, is the Lata Tantuna Krita, iti Maurvi, okay? Murva Lata Tattantuna Nirvritta iti Maurvi, but later on it becomes a generic name for Ja, that is bowstring. And this we come across in Saundarya Lahari also. Dhanuh Paushpam Maurvi Madhukaramayi. Dhanuhu Paushpam. The Dhanush even for the Madana, it is the same thing. Dhanuhu, he is a Pushpadhanva. Pushpabana, and what is that bowstring made up of? Madhukaramayi. It is all the black bees, because the Dhanurja looks dark in color, and for Madana, all the Dhanu is made up of Pushpa, the Shara, the Panchabana, Aravindam cha Ashokam cha Chutam cha Navamallika, Nilotpalam cha Panchaite, Panchabanasya Sayakaha. So these are the 5 flowers which are his Sharas, right? And but then, so Maurvi becomes, what I mean to say is, Maurvi becomes more or less a generic name for Dhanurja or Dhanurguna, that is a bowstring. So Jnasyasi, Maurvi, now Maurvi Kina. What is this Kina? Continuously the warriors, especially the Kshatriyas, the kings, continuously doing this, there will be a Kina, a scar on their right arm. Because that hurts, right? That hurts there. Yeah, you can do it. You can see doing it, how it will come like, akarana. Akarana pratyancha, like that, and then it will hit your bahu, your arm every time, right? And therefore there will be a scar on that. But the Kshatriyas take pride in that scar. In fact, in Raghuvamsha there are two quotations of this. Shastreshu akanthita buddhihi maurvi dhanushi cha atata. In the very first sarga of Raghuvamsha, how are the Raghu kings, Their buddhi is always in the Shastras. Akunthita, apratihata gatihi. Nobody can stop them. They just go ahead and deeper into the Shastras, nobody can restrict their gait or their speed in the Shastra Adhyayana. Shastreshu akunthita buddhihi maurvi dhanushi cha atata. So, on one hand there is Shastra Adhyayana, and on the other hand there is Shastra Acharana. Shastra and Shastra, both are there, okay? And there is another quotation in the 16th Sarga of Raghuvamsha. This is in the description of Sri Ramachandra. Tadetat ajanu vilambina. Ajanu, we know means as if we have seen Prabhu Ramachandra, but his bahu were as long as to reach his janu, his knees. So, tadetat ajanu vilambina ja ghata rekha kinalanchanena bhujena raksha parighena. So, that is the description of Sri Rama. Again, this ja ghata, this is regarded as a very proud thing for the Kshatriyas, especially the warrior kings. Okay, so this is Maurvi Kinankaha Bhujaha Kiyad Rakshati iti Jnasyasi. You will come to know. Please, if you don't have any other work which you have to attain now, then please enter the ashrama. It's not very far from here, and just go and watch that how the things are going on very smoothly, and then you will take more pride in your own valor. Jnasyasi, you will know. Na jnatavan, na janasi, jnasyasi. So the proper use of the lakara, the future tense here. Na janasi. Janasi could have been okay, right? But jnasyasi. So this is what is very important. So jnasyasi kiyad bhujo me rakshati maurvi kinankaha iti. And then there is parikara alankara, then there are like tapodhananam, pratihata vignaha, kriyaha. So there is anuprasa also, vrityanuprasa, etc. Okay. Api sannihitaha atra kulapatihi. So you just talked about Kulapati Kanava. Is he there in the ashrama? Sannihitaha. Is he present? Sannihita, present, near. Okay. Is he present in the ashrama? Idanimeva, idanim, that is also very important. Just now. Just now means not before this moment, just recently. Okay. Idanimeva duhitaram shakuntalam atithi satkaraya niyujya daivamasyaha pratikulam shamayitum somatirtham gataha. Very powerful sentence. Suggestive of so many things in the drama. This one sentence also can take, at least 10-15 minutes. Idanimeva, recently, just now, duhitaram shakuntalam atithi satkaraya niyujya. He has appointed his duhita, okay, his kanya, Shakuntala, name also is coming here. So when the Sakhis later on address her, he immediately can identify Shakuntala, oh, that is Kanava's daughter. Okay. Shakuntalam atithi satkaraya niyujya. He has appointed her as, a custodian to take care of the guest, whosoever, guest or the invited people come to the ashrama. Every now and then some or the other people would be coming, visitors would be coming. So atithi satkaraya tam niyujya. Now just imagine this Kulapati is having an ashrama where 10,000 people are staying. Wouldn't he have appointed somebody, elderly person, as a custodian in his absence? But he appoints Shakuntala. That shows he has full trust in what Shakuntala will do. I'm sorry. So he has full trust, Purnaha Vishwasaha. That is suggestive of some other thing for us. Even if Shakuntala marries without asking anybody's permission, with Gandharva Vivaha, Dushyanta, in the third act we see, that will also be accepted by Kanva because he has full trust. He has entrusted the entire ashrama vyavastha, the arrangement of that, to Shakuntala. That is also important. Then, asyaha pratikulam daivam shamayitum gataha. He has gone for pacifying her unfavorable destiny. Pratikulam daivam shamayitum gataha. Now, that means, everything is not well for Shakuntala. There is something which is, which might be unfavorable, undesired for, unexpected for in the life of Shakuntala hereafter. So there is this, like a suchana, like a suggestion, all's not well for Shakuntala. Something bad might be in store for her. So pratikulam daivam. And then when we call it daivam, can we change it? Prarabdham. It is prarabdha. It is prakarshena arabdha. The karma, our destiny, which has already started rolling, it will show its effects. See, the karma which we have are like kriyamana karma, sanchita karma and prarabdha karma. Kriyamana karma is that which is being done now. Even this talking, you are listening, you are taking care of your husbands and wives and children and office staff and this and that. So many activities we do, right? All this is kriyamana karma. Prarabdham, whatever we did in the past life, that has started showing its effect now. The ball is set into motion. So that is prarabdha karma. And sanchita, for lives together, until we get mukti, until we get moksha, our karma, the vasanas, get piled up one upon the other, and if you want to get rid of that, then in this life you have to do all good karmas so that it can wash off completely your sanchita karma. But prarabdha karma, it can't nullify. You have to bear the fruits of that, good or bad. So you can't change that. It is prarabdha. You can't change. At the most what you can do, you pacify it so that the effect is bearable, tolerable. That precaution you can do, and that normally when we do the graha shantis and all that, we can't change the star positions all of a sudden. The stars have already started showing their bad effect on us, okay? I mean, whosoever is suffering from the graha pida, nakshatra pida and all that, that has already started. At the most, by doing some divine upacharas or the upasanas or the pujas, what you can do is minimize the bad effect, the evil effect of that. And therefore, as a father, he would care for his daughter, and therefore he has gone. Where? Somatirtham gataha. Somatirtha is the present day Somnath in Saurashtra. Why it is called Somatirtha? It is Someshwara, it is the Ishvara. Soma himself, that is the moon, Chandra. Soma himself did tapasya there when he was cursed by his father-in-law. You know, Chandra always used to love Rohini more. Rohini was his favorite. Out of the 27 nakshatras, Rohini is his more favorite, and therefore the other wives, the other 26 nakshatras, they complained to their father, again Daksha Prajapati, and then he cursed Soma that he will be suffering from consumption, kshaya. And that is the reason why there is the waxing and waning of the moon. The waning, the Chandra diminishes digit by digit because he gets consumed. he is suffering from consumption. And when they ask the Ushapa, again, oh, for 15 days you will be suffering and for the other 15 days you will be growing. So the natural phenomenon of the waxing and the waning of the moon, our ancestors have turned into a beautiful narration, a beautiful story. So it adds to the charm. And stories we can remember, the scientific facts of the phenomenal happenings, we can't remember, but stories we do love to listen, to tell, to retell, re-narrate, and that is how the tradition goes on, right? So Soma Tirtham, so Soma did his austerities there, and therefore that is the Soma Tirtha. This is the Prabhasa Pattana on the Paschima Sagara, okay, Prabhasa Pattana near Dwarka. So there are so many indications in this, and I think we have seen almost all of these. Do you want me to read that? I think it's not that necessary. The poet, one more thing that I forgot, so I must look in the commentary. The poet has skillfully kept Kanava away. Kanavaha gataha, okay? And when idanimeva, just now he has gone. Where is the ashrama? Near the Himalayas, Anumalini Tire. Where is Somatirtha? On the western coast, ocean. So by walk, by foot, on foot, he will be traveling from Hastinapura, somewhere near Hastinapura, from Malini Tira to Prabhasapattana, and then come back. He will be away for few months, not for few days. At least 5, 6, 7 months he will be away. So that gives a longer period for Shakuntala and Dushyanta to be with each other. Of course, they can't stay for 6 months together because there are other things happening, but Kalidasa has ensured thereby that Kanava is kept away. And that too, Idanimeva Gata, that means he is not coming back tomorrow. If he had gone some 4 months back, there is a likelihood that he may return in few days at least. But now Idanimeva Gataha, so he is not coming back soon. So Kanava is kept away and longer time. 2 things are achieved hereby. Then he has entrusted every responsibility to Shakuntala. That shows, how much trust he has, and that in a way suggests that whatever she is doing and whatever she will be doing is acceptable to Kanava. So her Gandharva Vivaha Anumatam. Okay, so that is also suggested. And thirdly, something untowards may happen. And those who, we all know the story of Shakuntala, there is something untoward happening to her. She is being rejected, repudiated in the Bhari Sabhame, in the court of Dushyanta and all that. So that is not a good thing to happen for any woman. So she will be suffering from that because Daiva Masyaha Pratikulam. But again, there is a solace there. Shamayitum Gataha. So there will be some pacification. The stars are not that evil. There will be some solution for that. That is the ring. Right? So some solution would be there. So it is not very unbearable or forever. Even if there is a separation, it's not going to be forever, for few years or so, right? For 6, 7 years maybe, till Sarvadamana grew older of 6 years and all. And therefore, there is some hope still. So Shamaytum Gataha, so that Shamana has happened in some way or the other. Otherwise, this seems to be so miraculous a thing. It's all, like a coincidence. She losing her finger, that ring being caught, swallowed by a fish, the same fish being caught by the Dhivara cutting it, the Dhivara being caught by the king. The Dhivara could have sold it to some other place, but the king's people go there, they catch hold of him, and the ring falls in the hands of the king. All this chain of incidents is so accidental, but there are no accidents in life. Everything is predetermined. We feel it is accidental, right? Because we don't know the divine play. I came here 6 years back, I feel it's an accident, But it was not so. I get to know of that now. It's a divine play. Some 30, 40 years back, I got Ashirvada from Gurudev Chinmayananda. By the way, we are celebrating 108 Jayanti of Gurudev Chinmayananda. 8th May is his Jayanti. So, the whole year will be celebrated like that. So, that Ashirvada, he has blessed me. That is fructifying now. I don't know. I just feel, oh, how should I be here, from Mumbai? Where is Mumbai? Where is this Velianad, a small village? But there are no accidents happening. Everything is predetermined. We don't know of it. And therefore, for us, these are accidents. Anyhow, so pardon me for these personal references sometimes. So, Daivamasyaha pratikulam shamayitum somatirtham gataha. So, all these somatirtha also. So, if Soma got cured and he got relieved from his curse, then for Shakuntala, kimuta, kaimuti kanyaya. If Soma could be cured and Soma could be relieved, then Shakuntala would also be relieved of any mishappening or untoward happening, misfortune befalling her. Bhavatu tameva pashyami. Okay, if Kanva is not there, I will go and see her because she is appointed there, right? So, tameva pashyami. Sa khalu pashyami or drakshami. Sometimes, it is in some pathabheda, it is drakshami because I will. Pashyami is lat lakara. Drakshami is lat lakara. Future tense, so drakshami. Sa khalu vidita bhakti mam maharshehe karishyati or kathayishyati. There is karishyati or kathayishyati. Kathayishyati is a better pathabheda. She will tell about me how I am devoted or how I am full of respect and honor for Maharshi Kanva. Because when I meet her, I will pay my tribute to him, to her, right? How I greatly revere him and respect him, So she will tell Maharshi Kanva on his return that I am dedicated to and I am all bound to obey his commands and all that. So this is a typical Kshatra Bhava which has to be Vinita, which has to be very humbled at the feet of the Mahatmas. Sa khalu mam vidita bhaktim. Vidita bhaktim, that I have my bhakti towards him. So vidita bhaktihi yasya tadrishaha aham mam sa maharshehe kathayishyati. Okay. Vaikhanasa says sadhayamastavat. Okay, let us go because we are going to samidaharanaya. So we'll move. Iti sashishyaha nishkrantaha. He is not required there. Vaikhanasa is not required. So he is moved away. Okay. Suta chodaya ashwan punya ashrama darshanena tavad atmanam punimahe. So let us have this ashrama darshana, he has told us, and anyhow the king was out for hunting. He had no karyatipata, anya karyatipata, and therefore yahan tak aaye hai, chalo aur thoda dur jaake darshan kar lenge, right? Chalo. So tat atmanam punimahe. Let us purify ourselves, because going to ashrama and paying our respects to the ashrama people always, purifies us bodily, mentally, emotionally, spiritually and all that. So yad ajñāpayati ayushman iti bhuyaha rathavegam nirupayati. So again he starts driving the carriage on a fast mode, because it is samavarti pradeshaha now, right? And therefore, so rathavegam nirupayati, he has to be speedy, because at the outskirts of that ashrama, Vaikhanasa has met them. It is not very near the ashrama. To reach the ashrama, they have to travel a little bit more distance, and therefore Rathavegam nirupayati. And while the Rathavega, speedily the carriage is moving ahead, Samantad avalokya Raja Suta akathitaha api jñāyate eva yatha ayam ashrama bhogaha tapovanasya iti. Even if somebody were not to tell us that ashrama is nearby, we could have easily guessed it is the extent or the precincts or an extension of ashrama parisara. It's an ashrama environment. Ashrama bhogaha. What is the word here used is yatha ayam ashramaha, yatha ayam ashrama bhogaha tapovanasya. That this is an extension of the tapovana is known even if someone were not to tell us that ashrama is nearby. Ashrama bhogaha, extension of ashrama. Ashrama and tapovana are similar words. The tapovana or maharshehe ashrama, and this is the abhoga. Abhoga is asamantad bhoga, abhogaha paripurnata. That is the dictionary meaning. But here it is not paripurnata, it is the circumference or the circuit, or the expanse, the precincts, the environs of the ashrama. Where the ashrama is located, even if you don't enter exactly the gate of the ashrama, because ashrama dwaram, upasrutya, etc., next we are going to read. So though he is little away from exactly the ashrama dwara, still the ashrama parisara has started. Okay? How can you see that? How can you know that? Kathamiva? Kim na pashyati bhavan? Oh, don't you see? Iha hi. And then wonderful verse, Swabhavokti. And more than Swabhavokti, this is the close observation of nature by our poet Kalidasa. Nivara shuka garbha kotara mukha bhrashta taruna madha prasnigdha kvachidingudi falabhida suchanta evopalaha vishwasopagamad abhinna gataya shabdam sahante mrigaha toyadhara pathascha valkala shikha nishyanda rekhankitaha. Very beautiful verse, and this gives you the the surroundings here. They are indicators. There are so many indicators lying around this which I can see very easily, which compel me to deduce logically that ashrama is not very far off. Okay, it's close by. What are the things? There are some 3-4 reasons why this is an ashrama. 4 reasons are given basically. The first is Shuka Garbhaha, that is Shuka Nivasa Bhutaha Kotaraha. They are Bhransha Bhrashtaha Taruna Madhaha Nivaraha. I think I should read that commentary a little bit, because this is a very beautiful commentary. Tarunam Vrukshanam Adhaha, below the tree, Nivaraha Santi. What is Nivara? Nivara is Aranya Dhanya, Muni Dhanya. It is a kind of wild rice. This could be the red rice of Kerala. I have a proof for that. This could be a red rice for Kerala, because another name for Nivara or Nivaraka is Aruna Dhanyam. Aruna is red. Okay, I am not talking just like that. I have been eating red rice here from the day 1, 6 years back I came. So Nivara or Nivaraka, it's a kind of wild rice. There are so many varieties of rice, but this is special to Kerala. Okay, and this is red in color, and this doesn't need much of cultivation, they say. But in Maharashtra, this Nivara or Nivaraka is recognized as Variche Tandul, Varai or Vari. This is a lower type of rice grain which grows on the slopes of the mountains, and it is not tilled, the farms are not tilled by the bullocks, and therefore on the Rishi Panchami day, on the next day of Ganesha Chaturthi, all the ladies, they eat everything which doesn't involve any labor of animal. So, the bullocks are not yoked to till the land and all. This just grows wildly, Nivara. So, this is a lower variety of this one, rice, but very healthy and very easy to digest. Okay. So this could be that wild rice, or this could be the aranya shali, or this could be the aruna dhanya, the red grains of rice, and therefore most likely it is the red rice of Kerala. Okay. So nivaraha, trinadhanyani vrukshanam adhaha santi. Okay. I see the nivara, the grains of rice strewn there at the roots of the trees. How did they come there? For that there is a reason. Hetu, Karana Alankara, Shuka Garbha Kotara Mukha Bhrashtaha. Kidrishaha Nivaraha, Shuka Garbha Kotara Mukha Bhrashtaha. Bhrashtaha, fallen down. From where? Mukha, the mouth, the open space. Of what? Kotara, the hollows in the trees. झाडाची ढोली म्हणतात मराठीमध्ये त्याला, झाडाची ढोली. Some trees have, naturally some hollows are there, and there some animals, birds, snakes, they all stay there. Okay. So bhrashtaha, kasmat bhrashtaha, mukhat bhrashtaha. Kasya mukham, kotarasya mukham. Kidrishaha kotaraha, shuka garbhaha, where the shukas are staying. So these hollows of the trees house the parrots, and from the open mukha, open space of the kotara, the nivara are bhrashta. Now for these nivara to be bhrashta and falling down there could be again three reasons. Three possibilities could be there. One is the parrots could not help, store all that nivara which they have gathered, and therefore some they could store in their house, that is the kotara, and some has fallen down. So the kotaras are overflowed with dhanya, okay, and therefore some are fallen down. The second is while eating, from their beaks some of the grains might have fallen down. That is the second possibility. And the third is very interesting. The Muni Kumara, so many 10,000 people staying there. Anybody will feed, a handful of this, everybody feeding the parrots and the mrigas like that. It is really overflowing. Their houses are overflowed, and therefore bhrashtaha. So the mukha bhrashta is not the mukha of the shuka. It is kotarasya mukha. From the open, the hollows, they will be open from one end. On the tree side it is closed, but the other side it is open, right? Little bit opening is there. So from the opening, the nivara are scattered everywhere. So that is the first sign that, and nivara is normally consumed by the aranya shali. These are the aranya, muni dhanya it is called. Another name for that is muni dhanya, and therefore, poor people, the foresters and etc., they are fed on the nivara. So that is one gamaka, one indicator. Second is prasnigdhaha kvachid ingudi falabhida suchanta eva upalaha. Upalaha are the stones, and they are seen here, suchante, they are seen. How are they? Prasnigdhaha, they seem little oily, they are glazing. Even in the fast moving chariot, Dushyanta could observe that there lie the stones on which the Tapasa Kumaras, 10,000. Again, you have to keep in the mind the figure, 10,000. And therefore, every now and then some other person will get that ingudi phala and break it on the stones, and therefore the stones have become oily. Okay. So, what is ingudi? Ingudi is like, it is called hingot. I don't know what is hingot, but it's a fruit. It's type of a wild berry. It has like a nut, it has a shell. It has a shell. You can, Google Swami will answer your query. You just type ingudi and then he will answer. You can see the images as well. So there is a nut like, it's a nut-like thing, and the shells have to be broken, and inside it is like oily, something oily. So the Tapasa Kumaras etc., because some of them are mundi, they have to apply, they are bald, and therefore they have to apply oil to their head, oil to their bodies. Okay. This comes in the second act also. Ingudi, Chikkana, Mastaka or something, Chikkana something. All these, their faces and their heads have become oily because of the Ingudi. Yeah. So yeah, that is the picture. Hingot it is called, right? So Ingudi, it is Tapasataruhu. It is called Tapasataruhu because it grows wildly in the forest. It is Tapasataru, and the Ingudi Taila is extracted to burn the lamps also during the night time. So the Taila could be used for many things. Okay, and Ingudi Pinyaka is also there. I mean, what you can do is the pulp of that Ingudi. From that pinda, I think this reference comes in the Ramayana when Bharata comes to meet Ramachandra in the Vana. Then only Ramachandra knows about Dasharatha's demise, right? And then he does Pindadana with Ingudi Pinyaka, with the pulp of the Ingudi fruits. So Ingudi is like, in the Vana it will be found abundantly. Ramachandra also did Ingudi Pinyaka and all that. And another thing, very interesting thing is given, that those who don't have, children, they wear a necklace, a mala of Ingudi fruits. Ingudi fruits, the mala they wear. This is like a superhuman device to get children, not consuming anything as a medicine, but something, like you tie some talisman, some money, an amulet or something like that. This mala is an amulet type of thing. So for obtaining children, the necklace of the Ingudi fruits is also worn around the neck. Now, so Ingudi therefore is also Suchaka. See, the Dushyanta is issueless. Chakravartinam putram apnuhi, and here he says Ingudi. Somewhere that connection you can have, that far-fetching though, but you can have that connection. Okay. So, Ingudi falabhidaha upalaha, how are they? Prasnigdhaha, kvachit, suchante or drishyante. Now, kvachit, this particular adverb you have to join for every reason. Every sentence you have to join. Kvachit nivaraha shukagarbha kotaramukha bhrashtah taruna madhaha. Kvachit prasnigdhaha ingudi falabhidas suchant evopalaha. Vishvasopagamad abhinna gatayaha shabdam sahante mrigaha. Kvachit, at some places, sometimes, the mrigaha, now these are the younger fawns, the bacche hai chote harina ke, because the bigger harina was out there and that's why king was going to hunt it. But the smaller ones, they won't go out, So they will be in and around the vicinity of the ashrama. So they are playing there, and they, even the Ratha is coming, they are used to and accustomed to that Shanti, that nobody is going to harm them here. So they are fearlessly, with full safety and security, Shabdam Sahante, they are listening to the Ratha's sound, it makes, because it is in speed, speedily it is moving, but they are least bothered, and they are Vishwasopagamat, because they have that Vishwasa, they have that full trust. And therefore, abhinnagatayaha, even they don't even move a little bit, even an inch from the path of the Ratha. The Ratha will go this way. Sometimes we see on the bike, if you are going and there are some dogs, etc., they are least bothered. You can go from that side. They won't leave the place, their domain, because they know nobody can harm them there. Right? Ghar ka kutta, sher ke barabar, like that. So this is, but it is not like that, but Vishwasopagama. This is an ashrama precinct, ashrama environment, and therefore they are fearless. And therefore abhinnagatayaha, their gati doesn't get broken, haltered anytime. Okay? Shabdam sahante mrigaha toyadhara pathascha valkala shikha nishyanda rekhankitaha. This is the fourth reason. What is that? Toyadhara pathaha. Toyanam adharaha. Adhara, adheya bhava, the reservoir of toya, that is water. It could be the ponds, the puddles, the lakes, the rivers, something. Okay? The patha to toya adhara, Toyadharapatha, oh, there lies some lake or some well or a river that is easily located, identified on account of what? Valkala Shikha Nishyandi Rekhankitaha. Because the patha are Rekhankita, they are marked by Nishyanda, by the water oozing out, trickling down, dripping down from Valkala Shikha, from the fringes of the Valkala, the bark garments, from the tips of the bark garments, like something like, this dashaha, like this dashaha, So these are the dasha. This is all, of course, the woven one. The Valkala will not be woven or, sewn one, but there will be naturally some dasha, right? And from this will, from this the water will start trickling down and dripping down. They are dipped into the water. I mean, the tapasvis have had bath and they have come from that reservoir of water, be it a lake or a river, maybe Malini, because Anumalini Tire Kanavasya ashramaha, and therefore that way is marked by the drops of water. It has become wet. In general, from the wetness of that mud, you can easily identify that this wetness, how come there is wetness all over here? Because Valkala Shikha Nishyanda. There is water trickling down from the fringes of the bark garments, because bark garments cannot be squeezed to take out the water completely. They are just taken from the water, from the riverbed, and dried, hung on the branches of the tree to dry up. Okay, that will come in the, so many times it will come in the 6th chapter, I remember the verse. So, toya adhara pathascha kvachit. So, kvachit you attach to every line. So, at some places it is seen like the nivara are scattered. Some places the ingudi phala chikkana upalaha are seen. At some places, the mrigaha charanti nishankam nirbhayaha, because Vishwasopagamat. And at some places, I can see the wet paths because the water has trickled down from the bark garments, and therefore, without anybody telling us, I could have easily conjectured, guessed that this is the environment of an ashrama. There is one more verse, but we are short of time, and this is again, I mean, you have to ponder over this verse again and again to get the complete nature observation by Kalidasa, and how, unless you experience this, perhaps Kalidasa studied in one such Gurukulas. For his Shastra Adhyayana, he must have studied in some such Gurukula, and therefore he has closely observed what is the behavior of the Gurukula and what is the environment like, the ambience of a Gurukula and the ashrama, and therefore he can describe it so well. And when we come next also, Shantamidam Ashrama Padam, there is a Shanti, there is no hustle and bustle. People coming here in Adi Shankara Nilayam, everybody says, Kitni Shanti hai, it's so peaceful. Any ashrama for that matter will be peaceful, right? So, by this I invite you all to this Adi Shankara Nilayam. Whenever the Indians who are here make a trip to Kerala, Kerala is worth seeing, God's own country. Okay, so you can see Kerala, stay 1 or 2 days here and get immersed in this Adi Shankara Nilayam and experience the Shantamidam Ashrama Padam. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.